Hello again. Welcome again. Welcome to a new class. Welcome to class number 191. We have 5 classes left. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Only 5 classes left. So now we have to work very hard because in the next 5 classes, during the next week, you have to learn and improve as much as possible. Apurando al final, hasta el final. Come on. So let's work together. Camera number 1, review of the previous class, please. All right, the years. My father was born in 1923. My mother was born in 1921. I was born in 1951. My sister was born in 1948. My wife was born in 1954. My daughter was born in 1980. My son was born in 1984. Spain became a democracy officially in 1978 with the passage of the Constitution. Okay? Napoleon invaded Spain in 1808. The Titanic sank to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean in 1912. The Spanish Civil War started in 1936. It ended in 1939. The Second World War started in 1939. It ended in 1945. The First World War started in 1918. It ended in The First World War started in 1914. It ended in 1918. The American Civil War started in 1861. It ended in 1865. Okay, etc. All right. Now it's 2010 when I'm speaking to you. Okay. All right. The years. Okay, the years. Now the year is 2010. It's possible in the future people will say 2010, 2011, 2012 instead of 2010, 2011, and 2012. But we don't know yet. The evolution of the language changes sometimes. And concerning the years, it's not clear yet how people are going to call the years in the new millennium. Okay. All right, so let's go to the second part of what we saw yesterday. Extremely important, extremely important. Llegar a is to get to work. I get to work every day at 7:30. I got to work yesterday at 7:30 in the morning. I finish work at 8 o'clock and I get home at 8:30. Last night I got home at 8:30. I got home at 8:30. Okay, I get to work every day at 7:30 and I get home every day at 8:30, which is not true, but more or less. All right? Now, last week I drove from Madrid to Barcelona. When I got to Alcalá, I stopped to have a coffee. When I got to Guadalajara, I stopped to take a photograph of the train station. When I got to Medinaceli, I went up to have lunch. When I got to Calatayud, I stopped to take a picture of the old ruined castle. And then when I got to Zaragoza, I stopped to visit the basilica. And then when I got to Fraga, I stopped to visit Fraga. I have never been to Fraga. And then when I got to Lérida, I stopped to have a coffee in Lérida. And then when I got to Villafranca del Penedès, I stopped to taste some wine. And then when I got to Igualada, I stopped to have some bread with tomato. Yeah. And then finally, when I got to Barcelona, I went to the hotel. And when I got to the hotel, I relaxed. Well, when I got to the hotel, I checked in. To check into the hotel, to check out. The next morning, I checked out. When I got to the hotel, I checked in. And when I got to my room, I lay down on the bed and say, wow, I'm tired. Okay, to get, all right, to get. Now, the most important trip I have taken in my life was when I was 21. Okay. I went to Israel and back from Spain. First, I left Madrid. When I got to Barcelona, I spent the night. Then I took a ship from Barcelona to Genoa in Italy. When I got to Genoa, I had breakfast. And then I went from Genoa to Pisa. And when I got to Pisa, I found a pension, an hostal, to sleep. The next day I went to Florence. And when I got to Florence, it was raining. I spent one night in Florence, and then I went to Siena. When I got to Siena, I found accommodations in the local university, in the student residence. And the next day I went from Siena to Rome. When I got to Rome, it was Christmas Day. Yes, I got to Rome, it was Christmas Day, and I went directly to the Vatican. When I got to the Vatican, I coincided with the Pope, Paul VI, on the balcony for Christmas morning. Perfect. And I went into the basilica. I saw the Pope walking down the aisle in the basilica, okay, of St. Peter's Basilica. And then I spent a few days in Rome, and then I went to Naples. No, I didn't. Miento. I went to Sorrento. And when I got to Sorrento, I had lunch in the house of a mafia guy. Prato stop, he stopped, and yeah, strange man. And then I went to Naples. And when I got to Naples, I went to the Piazza di Garibaldi to meet some friends. When I got to Naples, when I got to the piazza, my friends were waiting for me. And then the next day, I went to Brindisi, on the other side of Italy, at the bottom. And when I got to Brindisi, I was hungry. And I looked for a restaurant. I had uovi fritti, I have fried eggs in the restaurant. And then I caught a ship to Igoumenitsa in Greece, near Corfu. When I got to Igoumenitsa, it was raining cats and dogs. And I caught a bus and went to Ioannina in the north of Greece, in the mountains. When I got to Ioannina, I was sleepy, and I looked for a place to sleep. All right. And finally I found a place. Whew. I could continue, but I don't have time. To get to, you gotta, please remember this and practice it.
Hello there, and you're very welcome to the program. Soy Fitz, my name is Fitz, and today we have a review for you. And today we have some work for you to do, and we have some work for our guest, Esther. You're very welcome.
Thank you, Fitz. How are you?
Very well. Are you ready to work?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so we're going to practice with years, años. I'm going to say them, and you and Esther, you have to write them. Okay, so 3 at a time. 3 numbers, 3 numbers, 3 numbers. Okay, so the first one, 2004, 1977, and 1601. Okay, now let's see. Can you see them? Can you read them to me?
Yes, 2004.
Very good.
And 1977.
Very good.
And 1601.
Perfect. Was it perfect at home? Okay. Okay, now let's wipe those off. And 3 more. Okay, the first one. 1014. 1014. 1798. And 1916. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, can you read them to me, Esther?
10, 14.
Very good.
16, 98.
Very good.
And 90, 16.
Very good. And the last one again?
90, 16.
19.
19, 16.
Perfect. So 1916. Okay, excellent. And at home? Okay, good. Now, 3 more. Okay, are you ready? And Esther, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. 1922. 1860. 1860. 1716. Okay, and let's have a look. Okay, and can you read them to me?
Yes. 1922,
Very good.
1860,
Very good.
and 1716.
Perfect. 1716. Okay, now 3 more, and that is it for the numbers. Okay, are you ready?
Yes. Now.
Okay, okay, and at home? Okay, let's go. 1354. Okay, 2010 are also 2010. 2010 or 2010. And the last one, 1118. 1118. Okay? Okay, so let's go. Can you read them?
1354.
Very good.
2010
Very good.
or 2010.
Very good.
And 1118.
Very good. 1118. Okay? So that's that for the years. Okay? Now, are you ready, Esther, for the next part of the program?
Yes, let's
Okay?
go.
And at home? Okay. We're going to practice 2 verbs. To arrive and to get. Okay? So for example, llegué tarde.
I arrived late.
I arrived late. Okay? I arrived late. What time did you arrive here this morning?
I arrived at 10:30.
At 10:30. Okay? What time did you get here this morning?
I got here at 10:30.
Okay? So I arrived here and I got here. Okay? Did you get home late yesterday?
Yes, I got home late yesterday.
What time did you get home?
I got home at 12.
Okay? What time did you arrive home?
I arrived at home at 12.
So I got home at 12. I arrived home at 12. What time did you get up this morning?
I got up at 7:30.
Okay, so what time did you get up this morning? I got up at 7:30. Ask me if I got home late yesterday.
Did you get home late yesterday?
Okay, yes, I did. Ask me what time I arrived at.
What time did you arrive there?
Okay, I arrived home at about 10 o'clock. Okay, ask me what time I got to work this morning.
What time did you get to work this morning?
I got to work at 8 o'clock this morning. Ask me what time I arrived there.
What time did you arrive here?
Okay, there at work.
What time did you arrive there?
I arrived there at 8 o'clock. So what time did you get there? What time did you arrive there? I got there at 8 o'clock. I arrived there at 8 o'clock. Ask me what time I got to the airport on Thursday.
What time did you get to the airport on Thursday?
Okay, I got to the airport at 11 o'clock on Thursday. Ask me what time I arrived there.
What time did you arrive there?
Okay, so ask me what time I got to the airport. Ask me what time I arrived there. I arrived there at 11 o'clock. Ask me what time I arrived at the metro station this morning.
What time did you arrive at the metro station this morning?
Very good. What time did you arrive at the metro station this morning? I arrived at 7:30. Okay? Thank you for watching. Keep reviewing, keep practicing, and in a loud voice. Goodbye and thank you.
Okay, listen, I'm going to promise you, this is camera 2. I want to promise you something. If you learn English well, I'll give you $1 million. I promise, okay? If you watch this program every day, I'll give you a second $1 million. No problem. Third, if you say good things about me to other people, I'll give you a third $1 million. Is that okay? Yeah, good. It's a promise. I promise. I promise. I promise. Okay. Let's change to camera number 1, please. Okay. Now, if you learn English well, I will be very grateful for the effort you've made. Excuse me? $1 million? I didn't promise you $1 million. No, I didn't. I promised you $1 million? I promised to you? No way. Para nada. Ni hablar. No, I didn't. I didn't promise you $1 million. You say, I promised you $1 million. If you learned English, no, I didn't promise you $1 million. You also, I promised you another $1 million if you say good things about me? No, I didn't say that. I didn't promise you a second $1 million. Also, if you attend class every day, if you don't miss a class, I promised you another? You mean I promised you $3 million? No, I didn't. Yes, you did. You promised me. No, I didn't. I beg your pardon. I never promised you $1 million. Recordad la canción. I beg your pardon. I never promised you a rose garden. Do you remember the song? No. Perdone, pero yo nunca te prometí un jardín de rosas. Junto con la luz solar tiene que haber un poco de lluvia, eh? Yeah. Along with the sunshine, there has to be a little rain sometimes. Okay? Life is not perfect. All right? Life is not sunshine all the time. Pardon. I beg your pardon. Es una expresión en inglés. Ruego tu perdón es perdone. I beg your pardon. I never promised you a rose garden. El pasado de promise es promised. Sonido de T pura. Es ed al final, por supuesto. Promised. I never promised you $1 million. I never promised. That was camera 2. Camera 2 is fictitious. Everything that happens on camera 2 is false. The only legitimate camera in this studio is camera 1. And everything I say on camera 1 goes. O sea, decís en inglés, va a misa. En inglés no vamos a misa con las promesas. Lo que digo aquí, va. No es que vaya, no va a misa. Too many Protestant people in the English-speaking world, so we don't go to Mass, okay? So everything I say on camera 1 goes. Anything I say on camera 2 is false. It doesn't count, okay? I didn't promise you anything because I didn't say it on camera 1. I only make real promises on camera 1. And if I promised to you something on camera 2, it's not legitimate. It's not a real promise. Promised. 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 I promised her. I promised her. I promised her to be there. I promised her I would be there. I promised him. Promised him. El sonido de T que sale al final del pasado de prometer, prometí, prometió, prometieron, etc. O prometían, imperfecto. Ese sonido de T se enlaza con la palabra siguiente en muchos casos. Promised you. I promised you. Tuesday. I promised you. I promised you that I would be here on time today. I promised you to be on time. I promised you to give you the money. I promised you. You promised to me. Promised to me. Escuchar bien para la fonética. Me prometes algo todos los días. You promise me. Promise me. Se oye mucho la S aquí. Me prometes cosas todos los días. You promise me things every day. Me prometiste muchas cosas ayer. You promised me, la S suena, pero luego no. Promised me, to me. You promised me many things yesterday too. Every day you promise me things. Last week you promised me things, and next week you'll probably promise me things, but you never keep your promises. You always break your promises. To keep a promise, I cross my heart. Yeah, cruzo el corazón, se dice. Pero lo hacemos un X, no una cruz. I cross my heart and hope to die. Espero morir si no cumplo con mi promesa. Se dice así en inglés. I cross my heart and hope to die if I break my promise. Now, last week I promised Tuesday, promised to you to be here every day this week. And you see, I'm here. I always keep my promises. I never break my promises. How do you say in Spanish? Lo prometido es deuda, no? Okay. In English, we don't have the same expression. In English, the expression is very simple. A promise is a promise. Una promesa es una promesa. Lo prometido es deuda. A promise is a promise. I gave my word. Okay? I promised you to be on time today, and I was on time today. All right. Okay, I promised Maria. Okay. Every day I promise. Yesterday I promised. I promised my wife to take her out tonight to a nice restaurant. I promised her to take her to a good movie tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow evening. I promised her to go to Venice, to take her to Venice for a romantic second honeymoon next month. I promised. So when you make promises, remember to keep them, don't break them. Yes. Rostro pálido habla con lengua bífida. Los indios norteamericanos said, white pale face, speak with forked tongue, because Washington, the politicians, promised the Indians a lot of things, and they broke perhaps every promise, I don't know. But they broke a lot of promises. They promised many things, and they didn't keep their promises. They broke their promises. They didn't keep their promises. Everything they promised, they didn't fulfill. Cumplir, fulfill. Okay. Our sponsors have something to say. They have promised to say something interesting. Veamos. Let's see. Okay, to promise. Seguido de infinitivo, gerundio nunca. I promised going, no se dice. I promised, Maria promised to come to my party. I have a party tonight in my house, and Maria promised to come. I hope she doesn't break her promise. I hope she keeps her promise. I hope she doesn't break it. Jorge promised to come to the party too. Yes. He promised to come. Everybody in this studio and in the control room promised to come to my party tonight. It's a big party in my house with music and dancing. Yes, until the middle of the night. And everybody promised to come. I hope they come. I hope they don't break their promise. I hope they keep their promise. They promised, and a promise is a promise. I'll see you in a few minutes.
Hello everyone, it's me again, Hannah. How are you today? ¿Qué tal todos? Okay, we're going to begin. Ya empezamos con un verbo muy importante. Bueno, todos los verbos son importantes, pero este sí que es importante también y muy útil. So, primero let's say hello to my student, ¿ya? ¿Ya? Okay, vale, bien. Hi Almudena, how are you?
Hi, Hannah. I'm fine, thanks. And you?
Great, I'm great, thank you. Okay, we're going to look at a verb. A very useful verb, útil, useful. The verb prometer. ¿Y cómo es prometer en inglés?
Promise.
Oh,
Promise.
oh my God. Okay, me desmayo. Okay, I'm going to faint. Desmayarse es to faint. Ahora, I'm going to faint. Pronunciation del verbo prometer, to promise. Eso, ok, muy bien. Yay. All right, pero I know, yo sé que muchos de vosotros, no puedo hablar, vosotros en casa también habéis dicho promise, ok, como Almudena, pero we have to change that, cambiamos ya, eso ya, la pronunciación no es promise, nunca, pero nunca, decimos promise, nunca. It's, ¿qué? ¿Cómo es, Almudena?
Promised.
Eso, otra vez.
Promised.
Again.
Promised.
Ok, en infinitivo, promise.
Promised.
No, al final, no hay nada al final.
Promised.
Promise.
Promise.
Yes. El último sonido es una S. Okay, so se escribe P-R-O-M-I-S-E. Okay, so promise. Promise. En infinitivo en presente, el último sonido es una S. Promise. Repeat, promise.
Promise.
Good. Ahora, repite. I promise you.
I promise you.
Good. I promise you. Te prometo. Te lo prometo. I promise you. Promise you. Ok, muy bien. Miraremos traducciones y también preguntas. For example, did you promise to help her move?
Yes. I promise.
Ahora pasado.
I promised her
I promised to help
to help
her
her
move.
on move.
Okay, repeat again.
Yes. I promised her, to help her move.
Okay, very good. Now, aquí la frase empezamos ya directamente con pasado simple. Promise. Did you promise? Pasado simple. Prometiste. Okay, prometiste. Did you promise to help her move? Okay, so prometiste que la ayudarías a mudarse, right? Did you promise to help her move? Fijaos bien en pasado, promised. Es un verbo regular que acaba en ed, pero esa d al final suena como si fuera una t. So yes, I promised, con t sonido al final, I promised to help. Usamos infinitivo. Cuando seguimos con otro verbo, decimos to y el verbo. I promised to help her move. Move, el verbo to move es mudarse, moverse. So again, did you promise to help her move? Y otra vez la respuesta, ¿cómo es?
Yes, I promised to help her on move.
To help
Her
her
move.
Eso, solamente.
Move.
I promised to help her move. Ok, muy bien. Siguiente. Traduce. Prométeme que lo harás.
You must
Promise me.
promise me.
Yes, directamente, como orden. Promise me. Prométeme.
Promise me. You are going to do.
Harás. ¿Qué es harás?
You
will. You will.
do. You will
Ok, que lo harás. You will.
do it.
Eso, repeat.
Promise me you will do it.
Okay, very good. Now, promise me you will, contracción. Contraction?
You'll do it.
Okay, very good. Promise me you'll do it. Promise me you'll do it. Prométeme que lo harás. Okay, did he promise to stop smoking?
Yes, he promised to stop smoking.
Good. Ahora, más fuerte al final con el verbo pasado. Promised.
Promised.
Okay, toda la frase.
Yes, he promised to stop smoking.
Muy bien. Okay, yes, he promised. Otra vez, tengo que oír ese T sonido al final. Así queda el verbo en pasado. So, yes, he promised to stop smoking. Prométeme que les visitarás pronto.
Promise me you'll visit them early.
Soon. Good. Repeat again.
Promise me you'll visit them soon.
Great. Promise me you'll visit them soon. Fantastic. Did they promise to attend the wedding?
To attend?
To attend, asistir. Did they promise to attend the wedding?
Yes, they promised to attend the wedding.
The wedding.
The wedding.
Good. Okay. Yes, they promised to attend the wedding. Sí, prometieron asistir a la boda. Yes, they promised to attend the wedding. Okay. Did your boss promise to raise your salary next month?
Yes, my boss promised to raise my salary next month.
Okay, very good. Great. So yes, my boss promised to raise, subir, to raise my salary next month. Muy bien. Prometimos llevarles al aeropuerto la semana que viene.
We promised them to
We promised to take
them to the airport next week.
Okay, great. So we promised to take them, llevarles. We promised to take them to the airport next week. Muy bien. Did you promise to do many things last week?
Yes, I promised to do.
I promised.
I promised to do many things last week.
Okay, very good. Yes, I promised to do many things last week. Okay, do you promise to study tonight?
Yes, I promised I will study.
Okay, do you, presente, do you promise to study tonight? Tonight, do you promise to study tonight?
Yes, I promised to study tonight.
Good. Repeat again. At home, everyone with me, do you promise to study tonight? Okay, so yes, Hannah. Oh, I think I can hear you. Puedo oíros. Okay. Yes, Hannah, I promise to study tonight. And I promise to study this weekend. I promise to study every day. Okay, good. Eso es lo que quiero oír. Okay, bien. Keep practicing and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Welcome back. Did you go to the butcher's yesterday? Did you go to the dentist yesterday? Did you go to the doctor's yesterday? Am I speaking too fast? All right. Well, let's move to camera one. Camera one is the slow camera, a cámara lenta. In slow motion, I will speak to you in slow motion to illustrate a certain interesting way of speaking English, a very normal way. Please, camera number one. My first girlfriend in Spain, I remember. Mi primera novia española, wow. 1973. Yeah. No, yes. No. Borra. Erase, no. 1974. 1974. Isabel was her name. Isabel. Isabel, you say here. We say Isabel in English. And there, I was living in an apartment in Madrid with 5 other American students. 6 people in one big flat. It was big, eh? It had 5 bedrooms, eh? So each American student had his or her own bedroom, and one student was sharing a room with another. Okay, now, around the corner, okay, there was a bar, and it was called Bar Antonio, okay? And normally, if we wanted a coffee, a beer, a wine, or anything, we went to Bar Antonio, because it was only 30 or 40 meters from our apartment building. Now, Isabel said she went with me and other friends to Bar Antonio. Now, speaking English, Isabel's English was not bad, all right? And speaking English with my friends, the other Americans, we said, let's go on to Antonio's. Let's go down to Antonio's. Let's go to Antonio's. And Isabel said, no, I said, it's not Antonio's, it's Antonio. It's Bar Antonio, no, Antonio's. We were adding an apostrophe S, okay? Because it means el de Antonio. Vamos al lugar de Antonio, to Antonio's, okay? So, we do this all the time. Voy a ir a la carnicería. Decimos en inglés, voy al carnicero, como si fuera un hombre ahí. I'm going to the butcher's. Okay. Voy al médico. I'm going to the doctor's. ¿Se entiende? The doctor's office. All right. I'm going to the hairdresser's. Así se dice siempre. Maria, after this program, she's going to the hairdresser's. She has a hot date tonight. Yeah, una cita. Yeah, with a young man, very handsome. Yeah, it's a hot. We say she has a date tonight, so she wants to look beautiful. So she's going to the hairdresser's. No solemos decir she's going to the hairdresser. No, she's going to the hairdressers. El lugar de los peluqueros, literalmente. To the hairdressers, okay? I'm going to the cleaners. I'm going to the cleaners. Voy a la tintorería o la lavandería. I'm going to the cleaners. We say a lot of these things. There are more. I'm going to the butchers. I'm going to the doctors. I'm going to the bakers. Voy a la panadería. I need to go to the bakers. I need to, let's see. Listen, Maria, before we have lunch, I'm preparing lunch. He said, we don't have any bread. Could you go down to the bakers? Could you go down? ¿Podrías bajar a la panadería? Decimos en inglés, ¿podrías bajar al panadero? Could you go down to the bakers? All right. And bring back 2 loaves of bread. 2 loaves, barras. Loaves, escrito. 2 loaves of bread. Okay, please. Just go down to the bakers. And when you get to the bakers, give them this. All right? Because I owe them some money from yesterday. I went to the bakers yesterday and I didn't have any money. And I took out my wallet. I had nothing. Of course, they know me. And they said, don't worry, pay us tomorrow. Yeah, pay us tomorrow. And so listen, can you take this down to the bakers? I need you to go to the bakers. I need you to go. Necesito que vayas, que bajes. I need you to go down to the bakers and to bring back 2 loaves of bread. But I need you to go to the bakers as well to pay them the bread from yesterday. All right. Yes. Let's go to Paco's. Yeah. Let's go to Paco's. Vamos a la casa de Paco. Vamos a verle. Let's go to Paco's place. Let's go to Paco's and go see him. And then after Paco's, let's go to Manolo's. Listen, I have an idea. Tonight, starting around 9 o'clock, let's go out. I have a lot of friends who live in the city. We can visit them. All right. First, let's go to Manolo's. Yeah. He's always at home. And he's always spending his time taking care of his bonsais. And we can go to Manolo's and helping him to take care of his bonsais at house. But after about 30 minutes or 45 minutes with Manolo's, you get tired of bonsais. And he only talks about bonsais. So let's go to Manolo's first, because I want to show you his beautiful, really, they're very pretty bonsais. And then from Manolo's, we can go to Alberto's. But be careful, Alberto. If we go to Alberto's, okay, si vamos a casa de Alberto, fijaos cómo lo acabo de decir, si vamos a la de Alberto, entendiendo que es su casa, all right? If we go to Alberto's, he will try to get you to do things, okay, to smoke strange things, and I don't think it's good for you. So, but still, spending some time with Alberto is a lot of fun. So let's go to Alberto's, but for no more than half an hour. I want you to meet Alberto. He's one of my best friends, but he's a bit strange and a bit dangerous, okay? Strange guy. So then, after that, we can go to Inés's. Do you know Inés? Inés Hopkins. Yeah, her father is English and her mother is Spanish, and her last name is Hopkins, like Anthony Hopkins, but her name is Inés Hopkins. Strange. But we can go to Inés's. She lives alone. She's a bit depressed now. She broke up with her boyfriend about 3 weeks ago, and she's having a hard time, and so she's a bit depressed. But let's go to, after Alberto's, let's go to Inés's, shall we? Just to give her some moral support. But she's so depressed that after about 30 minutes you say, I don't want to stay here anymore. This is a downer. This is depressing me too. So from Inés's, we can go to Pedro's. Now, Pedro lives with a strange person by the name of Alfredo. And you know, you feel uncomfortable. When you go to Pedro's, I love to go to Pedro's to see Pedro, but then Alfredo comes in from his bedroom and sits down. And Alfredo's strange. He seems dangerous to me. I get nervous when Alfredo is around. So sometimes I don't like to go to Pedro's. Estoy usando el genitivo sajón. A la casa de Pedro. No me gusta ir a casa de Pedro. Pero también para establecimientos. La peluquería, go to the hairdressers, to the butchers, to the bakers, to the candlestick makers. Okay, I'll be back in just a few minutes.
Hello everyone, my name is Layla. Today we're going to do 5 new vocabulary words, and then we're going to run some errands, hacer unos recados. And to do all of this with me, Esther is here. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you, Leila. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. Are you ready for the vocab?
Yes.
Great. Okay, at home, are you ready for the vocab? All right, so just remember to always practice out loud as many times as possible, okay? Let's go. The first one, cuenta.
Account.
Exactly, okay? Account. All right, the next one, en el extranjero.
Abroad.
Okay, abroad. One more time.
Abroad.
Exactly, okay? At home, abroad. Okay, abroad. One more time.
Abroad.
Good. All right, the next one. What part of my body is this?
Your head.
Exactly, okay? So, cabeza, head. Okay? One more time.
Head.
Good. Okay, the next one. Educación.
Education.
Okay, this one has the D and the U. When we have a word that has a D and a U, it becomes a J sound. Education.
Education.
There you go. Okay, remember the D and the U is a J sound. Education. One more time.
Education.
Good. Okay, at home, education. Okay, all together, education. All right, and the last one is promedio.
Average.
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 Exactly, it's like an I sound. Average.
Average.
Good. Okay, at home, average. Okay, well done. Okay, I just want you to pronounce educación for me one more time.
Education.
Fantastic. Okay, at home, education. And also the verb to educate. Okay, it has the same sound because it's still the D and the U. Okay, so those were the new 5 vocabulary words of the day. And now we're going to run some errands. Okay, hacer unos recados. Run some errands. Okay, don't forget that expression. Run some errands. Were you familiar with that expression?
Yes.
Okay, of course. You have to say, of course, Leila. I'm joking. Okay, so when we talk about going to places, for example, a la panadería, we say the baker's. And in English, we use the Saxon genitive. Okay, so the Saxon genitive, remember, is the apostrophe and the S. Okay, the Saxon genitive. All right, the bakers, the butchers, the doctors. Okay, so these are the ones that we're going to practice with. Okay, are you ready to practice?
Yes.
Good, okay. Did you go to the baker's yesterday?
Yes, I went to the baker's yesterday.
Good, okay. Baker's, always remembering with the apostrophe S, okay? Yes, I went to the baker's yesterday. Okay, good. How often do you go to the baker's?
I go to the baker's every day.
Okay. How often does she go to the baker's at home? She goes to the baker's every day. Okay, good. Ask me what I buy when I go to the baker's.
What do you buy when you go to the baker's?
To
To the baker's. To the baker's.
Good, okay. Don't forget that TH sound, okay? What does she want to know? She wants to know what I buy when I go to the baker's. I usually buy sweet things when I go to the baker's, croissants and these things. What do you smell when you walk outside a bakery?
What?
What do you smell when you walk outside a bakery?
I smell bread.
Exactly, okay. Or you smell something delicious.
Delicious.
Okay. Do you buy anything aside from aparte de? Do you buy anything aside from bread when you go to the baker's?
No, I don't usually buy anything apart from bread.
Aside from
Aside from bread.
when you go?
When I go to the baker's.
Okay, good. Now tell me one more time.
I don't usually buy anything apart from bread.
Aside from bread? Because you
Aside-
said aside and apart.
Ah, yes.
Okay, don't worry. Just tell me one more time.
I don't usually buy anything aside from bread when I go to the baker's.
Okay, all right. Very well done. Okay, now the butcher's. What is the butcher? When we want to buy anything that has to do with meat, we go to the butcher's, al carnicero. Okay, so did you go to the butcher's last week?
Yes, I went to the butcher's last week.
Okay, now how often do you go to the butcher's?
I go to the butcher's once a week.
Once a week. Okay. Does it annoy you to wait your turn when you go to the butcher's? Okay, so annoy, what does annoy mean? Annoy is molestar.
Sí.
Okay, and to wait your turn when you go to the butcher's, you usually have to say, who was the last one? Right? So you
Yes.
have to take your turn.
Yes.
Okay, so does it annoy you to wait your turn when you go to the butcher's?
Yes, it annoys me when I go to lose.
To wait my turn, esperar el turno, to
Yes.
wait my turn.
It annoys me to wait my turn when I go to the butchers.
Butchers.
To the butchers.
Bu-
Butchers. To the butchers.
Okay, now tell me one more time with no mistakes.
Yes, it annoys me to wait my turn when I go to the butchers.
Okay, good. All right. The doctors, for example, the doctors is exactly the same.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, how often, normally speaking, okay, how often does a person go to the doctors in a year?
A year. I don't know.
Twice,
Twice
once,
a year.
twice. Okay, tell me.
A person usually goes
Remember the
goes
third
to the
person.
doctors once or twice a year.
Exactly. Okay. All right. Did you go to the doctors last month?
No, I didn't go to the doctors last month.
Okay. Ask me if I went to the doctors last month.
Did you go to the doctors last month?
Good. Okay. What does she want to know? She wants to know if I went to the doctors last month. Okay. No, I didn't go to the doctors last month. Are you, let's use it in the future, okay? Are you going to go to the doctors next month?
No,
Instead of using next month, we're going to say the month after next. Okay, so not next month, but the month after next. Are you going to go to the doctors the month after next?
no, I'm not going to go to the doctors the month after next.
Good, okay. What is she not going to do? ¿Qué no va a hacer? What is she not going to do? She's not going to go to the doctors when? The month after next. Okay, now what do you normally buy when you go to the butcher's?
When I go to the butchers, I usually buy some meat.
Exactly, okay, meat and chicken. And do you buy eggs when you go to the butcher's?
No, I usually buy some meat or some chicken when I go to the butchers.
Okay, good. All right, so very well done, as always, okay? And at home, that's all the time we have for today. So thank you very much for being here with us. I hope you practiced a lot, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.
Okay, one more class. Class number 191. Which means, ya voy con lo mismo de siempre, which means that we have only 4 classes left. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Is it really true that we're going to finish this program in only 4 days? I can't believe it. Is it really true that you have a pre-intermediate level? Is it really true that you're ready to start the intermediate program soon? I hope so. Are you ready for the exam? You who are official students, are you ready for the final exams? I hope so. I hope so. All right, see you tomorrow.